And now, independent and unbiased, here's your weekly Brooklyn market update with Noah and John from UrbanDigs.
Hello, everybody. This is Noah and John, and we are from UrbanDigs, and it is Monday, so you're going to get your Brooklyn weekly market update. Johnny, let's get right to it. I'm looking at Brooklyn supply, came in at 3,247. Show me that chart.
Well, I mean, no, we've been saying Brooklyn supply, the top has been in on the busy season for a while. And it's case in point here. We're down another 2.5% on the supply side. And, like Manhattan, supply this busy season has been somewhat lackluster, and we're tailing off here as we get to the close of the year.
Yeah, not what buyers want to see. They want to see stuff coming on. That's not going to happen probably till mid to end of January to start out the next year's listing cycle. So you're going to have to wait. Let's take a look at demand. Pending sales in Brooklyn, 1,861 things in contract waiting to close. Johnny, show me that chart.
Now, here's where things get interesting, because when you look at this pending sales chart, you can see those columns, and they're sort of, going sideways here. So we've had some up weeks, some down weeks. This was an up week barely by, 0.3%. So it's slightly up, but it's oscillating here, Noah, and that's interesting. It's sort of a sign of change.
Yeah, and if I go to the market pulse, I keep bringing this up because I want you guys to see it in real time. Take a look at what this thing is doing. It's ticking up ever so slightly. Now, this doesn't mean that we're in full-blown recovery, but it does tell us that we're no longer in active decline, that we have seen that shift happen. We have been in this range, and now we're ticking up out of it. So we'll see where this goes and if there's a little bit of a Santa rally in terms of Brooklyn. But let's go to those weeklies first, Johnny. I'm looking at Brooklyn supply. 156 things came on the market. Show me that chart.
Yeah, it looks like a pop because it's, compared to the last week, which is Thanksgiving week, which was quiet, it's sort of a significant gain. Like we more than doubled what we put on last week, but that's not a surprise, but when you zoom out and you look at Brooklyn weekly new actives in context, you'll see that it's really sort of, it's below the lines from 2021, 2020. So Brooklyn supply is a little bit lackluster here. And, again, we're tailing off the year. So don't expect a lot of weekly supply in the next several weeks here.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Let's go shift over to weekly Brooklyn demand. Contract signed, 137 of them, Johnny. I see that's up. Show me that chart.
It's up, and it's notably up compared to last week, of course, but it was up against the 2 weeks prior. So it kind of, maybe there's a little bit of action on the buy side there. We got some deals done. It's still well below trend. I'll tell you that, Noah. The Brooklyn market is still much quieter than it has been even earlier this year, last year. So, you're still dealing with a lot of quietness in Brooklyn, but, it's encouraging to see a little bit of a pop on the contract side numbers on a weekly basis.
Yeah, that's a very good point. All right. We're saying that we're no longer in active decline. That's one thing, but we are below trend. So it's not that we're actively falling. We're figuring out how low we're going to go here. We kind of figured out how low we're going to go, but that floor is under that seasonal trend. And that's kind of where we're making our new little campsite and making ourselves a new home for a while until that changes. Let's go take a look at the chart du jour, Johnny. Time is a negotiation killer. That is a rule of thumb in this market. And if I'm a seller, what is my negotiability based on time on the market, Johnny? And if I look at this chart correctly, I'm looking at under 30 days. That's at 0. There is no bar over here. If I'm at 30 to 60 days, it looks like you're negotiating about minus 2.2% from your listing asking price. That's original asking price. If you find yourself 60 to 90 days and you get a deal, you're looking at 4.5%. If you're over 90 days and you did not get a contract signed, this is suggesting you're going to have to go down about 6.6%. And if you're on the market 4 months or more, it's around 9% or so or more, Johnny. What do you see here in this chart?
No, I completely agree with you. And it's the absence really of that 30 days or less bar that's really still amazing, because as quiet as the market is, it still suggests that, listen, if you're pricing this right, you're selling it pretty quickly and at the asking price. And of course, if you want to unpack that, pricing it right, it's not as easy as it sounds, right? You really have to dig in and understand your hyper-local market data and understand, the lane in which you're competing really well. But that being said, if you can master that, you're selling at ask. So there's still plenty of liquidity for properly priced units here in Brooklyn and in Manhattan at that point.
Yeah, and I would just say, look, I mean, I'm seeing a little bit of a downtrend over here, obviously from earlier Q1. The question is, where does this go from here? Does this kind of bottom out? Does this come back up a little bit next time we see the print? I mean, most of the deals in Brooklyn, Johnny, are probably going to sign between 30 and 60 days, and that's 60 and 90 days. And if you look at the combination of those two, and now I go to a Brooklyn overall chart right over here, sure enough, we could see that it's around 3.9%. So that is your generalities. That is your broad median negotiability. And you know what? There's the shift. And now we're just kind of in, that's the whole point. The rate of ascent that this metric is going in, it's starting to stall a little bit. And that makes me wonder, have we arrived at the new level that this market needs to operate efficiently in? Johnny, thank you so much for pulling up all those charts. That is John Walkup. I am Noah Rosenblatt. We are both from UrbanDigs. Don't forget, you guys got questions. We got answers. Please visit our forum right down over here. If you want any of the charts that John whipped up today, it'll be right over here in just a minute. Oh, by the way, definitely read my buy signal in play. First time hitting that buy signal in play. A great read on today's markets. But this has been your Brooklyn Weekly Market Update, and we'll catch you next time.